So again, we need to look at what features that are useful in doing this kind of analysis. Okay, so because in machine learning, okay, based on we use features extracted from the data to do the learning process. So here are some commonly used features that are used in this process. So the first one is term presence and frequency. Okay, so whether the appearance or the occurrence of a particular term, okay, in the sentence will reflect sometimes reflect the opinion. Okay, so say in the past, okay, the term frequency are used as in information retrieval. In a lot of IR researchers, they use term frequencies. How many times that particular term has been used in the articles? Okay, and in fact, say we are still using, for example, the frequent set, okay, of the words in a sentence, okay, to do classification quite often. Okay. But some researchers find that the presence or non-presence itself already indicates opinion. So we do not need to look at how many times the term is present in the sentence. Okay, so for example, the frequent occurrence of keyword is just to emphasis. Okay, to do emphasis. It is not an indication of the opinion. Okay, so it depends. Say based on this, you can design the feature by a binary feature, that is whether it occur or not occur, instead of using a numerical features. And we can also use term-based features. Okay, say for example, the position of the term inside a textual unit. Okay, where it is, whether it is in the beginning, at the end, or the middle. Okay, say or the use of unigram, bigram, or trigrams. Okay, so for example, bigram is two words together, adjacent together. Trigram is three words in adjacent to each other. Okay, and high contrast pairs of words such as delicious and dirty. Okay, that will also indicate the opinion of the authors. Parts of speech as before, but say to express opinion, adjectives are usually more say useful than other kind of parts of speech. So by looking at the adjectives that are used by the sentence, okay, so we can say usually tells the opinion of the authors. Okay, but sometimes nouns and verbs such as jam and love will also indicate a kind of preference. Okay, say jam will usually indicate a positive form, or maybe when you use the word hate, okay, then probably it is negative. Okay. And syntax will be the tree or the subtrees. Okay, say for example, do a shallow parsing and look at the subtrees corresponding to a word phrase or noun phrase instead of looking at the entire parse tree. Or the collocation and other complex syntax patterns have been also found to be useful in doing this kind of analysis. So negation, okay, is also useful because very often, okay, the positive sentence and negative sentence, they only differ in one single word. That is the negative word, not or don't or no, this kind of word. Okay, otherwise the same sentence will be the same. So I love this or I don't love this. Okay, so that kind of sentence, okay, they only differ in the negative term. Okay, so very often a negative term will be extracted and looked into carefully. Okay, in opinion mining. And finally, we also use topic-oriented features. Now, topic-oriented features traditionally will be based on expert knowledge. Okay, we require expert in the field. But if you have sufficient data, okay, then you can extract these topic-oriented features automatically by data-driven method. Okay, of course, you have to have enough training data in this topic. Okay, so given, say, if you are working on, say, global warming, okay, then if you have sufficient top articles in global warming, then you can extract the features that are useful for global warming, okay, by looking at the articles in global warming itself. Okay, so topic information should be incorporated into features. And say, for example, a piece of good news of a rival can be a bad news to you. Okay, so say depending. Okay, say for example, if you are working say you are a supporter of Manchester United. Okay, then the good news for Chelsea probably will be a bad news for Man U. Okay? So this kind of knowledge will be useful. Okay? And may need to include indicator or party names so that the feature can be attached to different entities. Okay, so when you look at the sentence, then these features may need to be attached to some of the entities so that you can differentiate whether it is related to the rivals of the topic or the topic itself. So now, since time is limited, okay, so finally we summarize and try to look at how we can use this in the framework of classifying articles in the knowledge forum. Okay. So first of all, to apply techniques in machine learning, okay, we need a labeled corpus with sufficient training data. Okay, so the trend nowadays is on data-driven machine learning. Okay, so you need to provide sufficient data so that the system can mine the knowledge out from the data to do the classification. Okay. And many different features are being used. Okay, some systems even use more than 200,000 features. So for example, if they use whether a word occur in a sentence as a feature, then there may be tens of thousands of words. Okay, and each one, the occurrence of each one will be a feature. Then there will be more than 100,000 features already. So of course, these features will be generated by computers. Okay, it will not be done by humans. Okay? So given a sentence, the computer will generate all these features, and then we can group terms together to form concepts to reduce the number of features. Okay, so similar terms, okay, they are related to each other. They can be grouped. Okay, with similar semantic meanings, they can be grouped together, okay, so that we can reduce the number of features. Okay, the number of features is related to the time that required to do the learning or the mining. Okay, so the more features you use, okay, the longer the computer needs to run. So if we have enough training data, we can find the grouping most tailored for the topic involved. Okay, so by mining the knowledge on this topic, okay, then we can use the most relevant features to do the classification. And features can also be results of another machine learning program, such as sentiment analysis, topic-related keywords. All these may be another machine learning process. Okay, by learning, say, from the sentences, then you come up with the opinion or the positive, negative, subjectivity or objectivity of the sentence. And some topic-related keywords, they also need to be done by machine learning programs. So after all these, then we can do a supervised classification. Okay, so there are many techniques in supervised classification. The most common one nowadays is to use support vector machines or decision trees with AirBoost. Okay, so that is the common techniques that are used. And if there is sufficient data, then the entire process can be data-driven. So we do not need to worry, say, whether this feature is useful or not, because at the beginning, no one can tell. Okay, so sometimes people or the machine learning program can find features that the experts say that this feature may not be useful, but the machine learning program eventually find that this feature is useful. So we let the data tell. Okay, so the data itself will tell you, okay, what is useful, what is not useful. Of course, we need to have sufficient data with labels. Okay, so whether, say, for example, which class this sentence belongs to, and so on. Okay? So if there is sufficient data, the entire process can be data-driven. And finally, expert knowledge can be used to reduce the amount of training data that's needed. Okay, so if you don't have enough training data, then you can use the knowledge of the expert to reduce the amount of training data. Okay, the training data itself will come up with the data that the expert summarizes or abstracts from the data by the knowledge. Okay, so if we don't have enough training data, then we can use expert knowledge to supplement the process. Okay, so that is what I want to share with you today. Okay, thank you.